Good morning. I'm a lay minister here in Verwood, and this is my thought for this coming week. I'm of the opinion that unless you have mental strength, listening to the news is not good for one's mental health. I've always been aware that journalists and news editors tend to show the negative side of any particular story rather than the positive side, because bad things tend to attract more interest for their consumers. The downside to that is that everyone starts to believe that everything is just not fit for purpose, on the edge of a cliff, about to collapse, or is catastrophic. All that can be very scary, especially to those who rely heavily on a particular service that is provided, and that can create fear. Fear is one of the biggest problems that people face today. Fear brings anxiety and torment, and if not addressed, can seriously affect our quality of life. God does not want us to be tormented, and he keeps on encouraging us not to live in a state of fear. In the Gospel of John, it states that Jesus came to earth those 2,000 years ago that we may have life and have it abundantly. One of the major strands of his ministry was to tackle fear and promote peace in the hearts and minds of his followers. According to the book of Psalms, King David, who lived about 1,000 years before Jesus, found himself in a very awkward situation and was profoundly scared and fearful for the future. He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from me, so far from my cries of anguish? That is written in Psalm 22. Whilst many theologians consider that to be prophetic about what Jesus said on the cross all those years later, it can still apply directly to our lives, because sometimes we can all feel forsaken, just as Jesus did. Later in that psalm, it was clear that despite his negative feelings, he still trusted God to do something. For he said, you are my strength. Come quickly to help me, and I will declare your name to my people, and in the assembly I will praise you. What can we learn from that? It is that we do not need to deny our feelings at all, but we must not let those feelings rule our lives, for living by feelings make for a miserable existence. A past American president said once that there is nothing to fear but fear itself, which is in the same vein as often quoted saying, the fear of something happening in the future is far worse than that something actually happening. I agree with that wholeheartedly, for I used to live with great anxieties all the time, but I am thankful that I have learnt by experience over the years that that statement is correct, and more importantly, that God is close to those who love him and will help see them through difficult times when there is struggle. David struggled, and God did indeed come to his help and saw him through the crisis he was in and out the other end. No wonder that in the very next psalm, number 23, it is written, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. What a statement. Our souls are made up of our minds, wills and emotions. And just as our bodies need rest and refreshing, so do our souls. And according to this psalm, God does just that and gives refreshing to our souls, so we don't have to worry all the time about how to solve all the issues that we face. We can seek God for his help with this. Also, we can ask him for that mental strength that can protect us from getting fearful when listening to all the negative news all the time. Thank you for listening.